Hello and welcome to Ruth Migration. My name is Ruth and I am a solicitor or lawyer in Australia. I'm also a registered migration agent based in Australia. Our firm is based here in Australia, although we service clients internationally, including Asia and Europe and other countries with visa applications, migration process, as well as Australian citizenship applications. Now this is a video for you if you have experience in business, you own a business, and you have a fairly successful business and you would like to migrate to Australia, whether yourself or with your family. Today I'd like to share with you about the subclass 188 visa category. There are various streams under this visa category. The first one is Business Innovation Visa, which will be the focus of my video today. The second one is the Investor Visa stream for those who are willing and able to invest at least $1.5 million into an Australian designated fund. The third type is the Significant Investor Visa for someone who is willing and able to invest at least $5 million in a designated investment. The next one is the Premium Investor Visa for those who are willing and able to invest $15 million in a designated investment. And finally, there's also the Entrepreneur Stream, which has been made available recently by Australian Immigration. Now, for the purposes of this video, I will be focusing on Business Innovation Visa. If you would like more information on Investor Visa, because of the complexity of that type of visa, you're more than welcome to log on to Immigration's website and have a look. Alternately, you can contact us and we'll give you more details about that. So this video is going to cover information on Business Innovation Visa subclass 188. It is a provisional visa and it provides you with a pathway to permanent residency. So if you were to be granted this visa, you do not get permanent residency just yet, but it gives you a pathway toward permanent residency. Now this visa is usually granted for 4 years, and say for instance after 2 years of holding the visa, and if you meet all the requirements and during those 2 years, then you may be eligible to apply for a permanent visa, which is subclass 888. Coming back to the subclass 188 business visa. In order to be eligible to apply for this visa, you will need to show a couple of things. Firstly, you must be nominated by an Australian state or territory. You must be under 55 years old, unless if you can show that what you bring into Australia, for instance your business, can bring exceptional economic benefit to Australia. You need to also show ownership interest of at least AUD $500,000 in 2 out of the 4 years before you were invited to apply for this visa. In regard to ownership interests, if your company is a publicly listed company, then you need to show that you own at least 10% of it. If it's not publicly listed and it has a turnover of more than 400,000 AUD a year, then you need to show at least a 30% ownership of the business. But if the turnover is less than 400,000 a year, then you need to show ownership of at least 50% in the company. The great news is, say for instance, you have got numerous business. You can actually nominate up to 2 businesses to meet the requirement. Great news. You need to also show that 50%, at least 50% of your time should be in managing and running the business and not so much of doing the work itself. In regard to personal and business assets, you need to show that you have $800,000 net assets. That could be a combination of your business and personal assets, and you're willing to transfer the amount to Australia after your visa is granted. Now, certain states may ask for a little bit more assets or financial capacity, and they just want to ensure that when you first come to Australia, you can put a roof over your head, with a new business venture, and also you can pay for your children's education, etc., etc. And also, finally, to be eligible for this visa, you must meet the 65-point test. And points are awarded for your age, English language ability, qualifications, your experience in business or investment, net personal and business assets, business turnover, and if your business provides innovation. Now, the more qualification, experience, or assets you have, the more points you are likely to earn. I'd like to now share with you some top tips in regard to business visa. Number 1, ensure that you meet the basic requirement for a subclass 188 visa under the business innovation stream. Number 2, ensure that you have sufficient points, which is 65 minimum at this stage. Number 3, think about the state or territory that you would like to run your new business in and the place where you want to reside in, as you will need the state or territory to nominate you. And if you do, the next step will be always to clarify with a registered migration agent to ensure that all the boxes are ticked, because you don't want to go through all the process, spend all the money and the time, and having to find out that there's one particular box that has not been ticked, and that would be a reason of refusal, because that would be a total waste of time, and also you're probably not going to get the money spent back. Now, the next step is, after you've verified that it's all good to go, you're confident that you can get this visa, then the next thing to do is to lodge an expression of interest. Now, noting that this is not a visa application, it is your interest, or rather you expressing your interest to the immigration saying, hey, this is me, I'm a capable business owner, and I would like to come to Australia and start a business and contribute and potentially get residency. And this visa can be for yourself, or you can also include your family in the application if they meet the requirements. And for information on how to transition from a subclass 188 to a subclass 888 visa, you're welcome to log on to the immigration's website, or alternately contact our office and we'll give you some information in regard to that. Everything that we've talked about today is for your information only and should not be treated as legal advice. Ensure that you seek legal advice or migration advice from a registered migration agent or a migration lawyer to ensure that you meet the requirements. Ultimately, contact our office and we'll be much obliged to help you assess your case. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening, and all the best to you.